cops shooting and killing Anthony Lamar Smith to Michael Brown in Ferguson, George Floyd in Minneapolis. A movement's been sparked, targeted at cracking down on police misconduct in St. Louis and beyond. And now there are fears these incidents could go unchecked. A Department of Justice decision, the DOJ eliminated its national database tracking misconduct among federal law enforcement officers.
Tonight, our Alexis Zotos reports on the potential trickle-down effect, leaving some activists uneasy tonight.
The federal database is now gone. It wasn't available to the public, but it was used by other law enforcement departments to check if an officer had been fired or suspended for things like racial bias or excessive force.
In the decade since the death of Michael Brown in Ferguson, activists have called for more accountability when it comes to police behavior. But now they fear things are moving backwards.
These are red flags.
One of President Donald Trump's first executive orders resulted in the Justice Department removing a national law enforcement accountability database, which tracked misconduct among federal officers.
We need to have the database. We need the accountability.
The link for the database, which launched in 2023, is now dead. It was an idea President Trump initially proposed in his first term, but it didn't launch until President Joe Biden's term in the aftermath of George Floyd's death.
The federal government was paying attention to what we've been saying.
Reverend Darrell Gray has spent years calling for police accountability and oversight. He says things are improving in the St. Louis region, including in Ferguson. Ferguson Police Chief Troy Doyle tells First Alert 4 accountability and transparency are key to maintaining trust in policing. In Missouri, the Peace Officers Standards and Training Program tracks disciplinary action amongst police, but it's not information available to the public. Chief Doyle says departments must have a strong vetting process to ensure the best candidates make it out on the street.
I think that there needs to be a municipal database. We continue to say that. I think the necessity is even greater now. It can make sure that we don't have police that are committing crimes or getting fired in this municipality just saying, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Now, the federal database was created with the idea of incorporating state and local police departments and was supported by the International Association of Chiefs of Police, who said a database like that provides real value during the hiring process. Reporting live in the newsroom, Alexis Zotos, First Alert 4.